Good evening. How you doing? I see someone just joined us. Please use the comment feature, whether you're using YouTube or Facebook. If you send us a comment, we can see it and we can reply to you, post it on the screen. So if you don't mind introducing yourself via comment, we would love to meet your acquaintance. We're just waiting for a few more people to join for us to get started. Thank you for your patience. Welcome. Thank you to joining this week's stakeholder meeting for the Muertos Benefit Festival. Again, we're just waiting for a few more folks to join for us to get started. If you please would again announce yourself in the chat, leave a comment. We'll know who you are. We'll definitely give you a shout out, and we want to make sure we capture information so we can keep you abreast of what's going on and what's coming up next. As we wait, we'll mute our camera so we don't look crazy just staring at you. But yes, we are fully active in the chat, and we will be beginning momentarily. Thank you so much. All right, all right. Good evening. My name is Kyle Mims. I'm co-founder of DDLMDC. This is
Ari Mondragon, how you doing? And buenas tardes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on this live this evening. This is our second stakeholders meeting for the upcoming Dia de los Muertos Benefit Festival. We are super, super excited about it. It is taking place this year, November 6th, which is a Saturday. We are looking forward to this. This is our fifth annual Dia de los Muertos Benefit Festival, which is super, super exciting. We've been able to kind of have a nice trajectory. Started off at Finfatel Pop-Up Shop many moons ago, jumped over to Congressional Cemetery, froze our tails off out there, but had a very great experience. Then we jumped over to the Eaton DC Hotel, who have been avid supporters of us throughout this entire mission, which has been a blessing. And then last year, of course, due to COVID, unfortunately, we had to go virtual. And hopefully this year, as we are currently planning, we will be live in person on the 6th of November. And of course, with all the necessary precautions to take for those who will be attending with this COVID pandemic still looming around us. So we won't take up too much time, everyone, today. I think we just want to kind of give everyone who's listening a rundown of what's kind of happening, and then give you some ideas of how you can get involved, if you so choose. Okay. So again, November 6th is a really big day for us. We are trying to do a number of different things. The biggest thing that we're doing, we are raising money for two nonprofits that we've been supporting over the last few years, which are Muertos Sabios, which is a nonprofit located in Mexico, and as well as the Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights. And I'm going to give Ari the mic just for 2 seconds to give us a quick rundown of those two organizations so you can learn a little bit more about who we're supporting. All right.
So, like Kyle said, we like to call it what we do. We like to call it a double impact global campaign because, like he said, we support the Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights, and what they do is they take care of all unaccompanied minors that are crossing the border, and via the Waymaker campaign, all your donations, each dollar doubles up. So that's one thing that's here in the States. And then Rostros Sabios de Mi Corazón a Tu Corazón in Mexico, in Morelos, Mexico, takes care of children and working moms in marginalized communities, providing top-notch services for, like education, medical services, and all like the whole 360 of what, a kid should have while they're growing and developing. So those are the two nonprofits that we donate to. We donate 100% of our proceeds to them, and like I said, we like to call it a double impact global campaign because, as you know, your dollar here in Mexico is 20 times stronger. So here in the US, it doubles up, and in Mexico, it 20 pulls up. I don't know how to say that in English, but it's
Right.
like it's 20 times stronger. So it's just to give us an idea on how big of a change we can make here and also internationally.
Definitely. And you talked a little bit about the Waymaker Fund. For the Young Center in particular, what is their mission? What do they do?
So they, like I said, they take care of unaccompanied minors that are crossing the border to avoid or to protect them from being either trafficked or injured or abused, or so many horrible things that can happen to the children because they're the most vulnerable population. And actually, Kyle, I like to tell our audience or community, why do we do this? And just to give you a couple numbers and why it's so important, that why we need your support so much is because the children's world population is 2.2 billion. And right now, half of that, 1.1 billion, are refugees. Half of the world's population are children. So it's our future. We're not immortal. And they are the ones that are carrying our legacy. And those numbers are alarming. So we're going to continue to fundraise, and this is what we're going to dedicate ourselves to. And Dia de los Muertos DC and the Benefit Festival is going to exist until it's no children displaced, because all this is and this number is only going to increase due to climate change and different eco, how you say, I totally lost the word. I
Ecological.
had it, there we go, I had it in Spanish. Sorry.
Ecological.
Yeah, factors that we are affecting. So we will give you more info about that. We will show you, some statistics and numbers and factual information that is very alarming, and that we should really take note of that and really join the movement.
Yeah, thank you for that. And if you're here with us tonight, one thing you do know is that we're planning this festival. One thing you might not know is who Dia de los Muertos DC is. So we are a organization founded in the Washington DC area, which strives to produce events, community building events around the traditions and customs of the Dia de los Muertos holiday, in order to kind of create a safe space, and take up space and create a safe space for all folks of all walks of life, and particularly really kind of support and fundraise for various social causes that that affect the Black and Brown communities here and abroad. So we've been really happy to be able to be around for as long as we've been around, and we've been gaining a lot of traction. And we do a lot of work throughout the year, not just on the Day of the Dead. We participate and do a lot of co-produce a lot of events throughout the year with a number of our partners, and we also are very active out in the peace building community. And if there's a march in the DC area that involves immigration or the need for peace,
or end the gun violence, or climate change,
you got it. We are out there.
social justice.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand a lot of times the connection between Day of the Dead, what we kind of pride ourselves on, and those issues. But the big thing that we want people to really recognize is the key element that we try to show through the Day of the Dead, and the thing that makes this such a harmonious celebration is our shared mortality, right? You look at all human beings, and even no matter what walk of life, no matter what culture, no matter what language you speak, the one thing we have in common is our humanity. And so we always say in Dia de los Muertos DC that if we're the same in death, then we must be the same in life. It's a very, very big thing that we want to pass along to the rest of the world. So I say all that to say that I announced that we fundraise for the two nonprofits, but we have a certain number of missions that we're trying to take care of this November, and we'll kind of key you in on that. The first largest thing, we're working with Katrina's Corazon, a organization based to kind of show the beauty and the culture behind the Katrina of Day of the Dead, and we're partnering with them to try to beat the current Guinness World Record of the largest gathering of Katrinas and Katrins in one location. We're looking to do that on the National Mall. Very happy to say we do have our permit B down there, so that's a great
on the side
stride
of the
forward.
camera.
Great stride forward. And so their current number is 865. It's currently held by, please say the town for me.
Guanajuato.
Guanajuato. Okay, perfect. In Mexico. And we're looking to join force with them to even extend upon that record, and hopefully get to at least 1,000 this year, which would be great. And we're looking to do that with them in order not to take the standing, but to just again broaden that and broaden it, as well as connect the two countries together. There was a lot of turmoil that's been kind of happening with us sharing a border, but we are neighbors, and we are shared humanity. We do share in our humanity, and honestly, we share in our people. So we want to make sure that people don't feel as though they're being overwritten in the history, and we're just kind of joining in and sharing that celebration. So that's a big thing that we're looking to do. If you don't know what a Katrina or Katrin is, if you follow Day of the Dead at all, if you've seen Coco or Book of Life, which are kind of more of the secular movies that have become popular in the last few years, you've seen a lot of folks who will dress up and actually paint their face as a skeleton. They usually adorn themselves with, a ornamental, either suit or a gown, and paint their faces and adorn with themselves with flowers. That is a very common image of a Katrina or a Katrin. And so that's what we're looking to do. So we're going to be encouraging all the folks from the DMV area to come out and join us. If you have a business, if you have family, if you are organization, you're activists, your group, your school, your church. We want to encourage folks to come out with their friends and family, and help us beat this thing.
If you need oxygen to breathe, you qualify.
Exactly. And we will be doing it safely. Again, I know it's 1,000 people, seems a lot of people in one place, but again, on the National Mall, plenty of room to space out. We will have markers set out for everyone to stand on that will be distanced, and we will have hand washing stations, sanitizer, masks, and so forth.
Shields, everything.
Yep. So we definitely want to make sure that we're all out and having a great time, but we're all doing it safely so that we will be out to celebrate the next time. Another big thing this year that we're really going to be focusing on, especially with our community cross-culture altar, that I'll get into a little bit deeper momentarily, but is to really also center and pay homage to all the folks we've lost to COVID. We've all been in this crazy ship for a year and a half now, and we're still battling. We don't really quite see the end of the tunnel. So it's very important that we look around and really just take heed to all the warnings. Please take in to the loved ones that you still have around. And for the folks that we have lost, I think everyone in this room on this side has definitely lost some folks that we dearly miss. That we remember them, remember what they stood for, remember the stories that we share with them, the love that they gave to us, and the things they passed on that we will continue to pass along to the ones that follow us. And so we will be honoring and having space for all of us to honor those individuals at our cross-cultural altar. We call it cross-cultural altar for a couple different reasons. One being the fact that, again, we want to make sure that people understand that Day of the Dead is not solely a Mexican holiday. It is definitely a holiday celebrated across a very vast number of countries for that reason.
The world.
Yeah, across the world. And also there are a lot of similarities across a lot of cultures that share in the same traditions, like altar making, remembrance of your loved ones, lighting candles, gathering with your family, paying homage and paying respects. These are things that we all share in some way in whatever culture we were raised in, and that's why we find it beautiful. And because a lot of us don't really understand the power of kind of dealing with our grief. I know we all may have ways to cope with that in our own individual cultures or societies and communities and so whatnot. But I know as a native born American, I've always been taught to swallow, right? You just swallow your pride, you swallow your pain, and you just got to shoulder on. It happened, get over it, and we don't talk about it. But one thing that's really drawn me to this holiday in particular is that it is a shared grief, right? We all are suffering in one way or another. We all share in that. And so why do we suffer in that by ourselves, right? You got to open your mouth. Please reach out to your community members, your family members, your friends, your church members, or whatever circles you find yourself gathered in, because they are there to help you shoulder this. They are there to help you get through it, right? And once you realize that you truly do have a community, that you truly are alone, it doesn't seem quite as overwhelming, right? And that's really powerful, because especially I know in this country with the statistics that we face, and actually around the world is really alarming, is even just the growing number of suicide rates that are happening. And it's because we don't know how to deal with the pain, whether that's different types of grief, whether that's bullying, whether that's poverty, whether that's all these other things that you have to process. Learning how to do that as a people, right? Not as this group, not as this group, not as this group, but as a people, is the key to us actually surviving on this earth, and learning how to be, a better human race, right? And not just one individualistic race. So that's one thing we feature. And again, I apologize. I ramble a lot when I kind of get on a roll. But okay, so we talked about who we are. We talked about what we're trying to do. So we're going to be raising money for these two nonprofits. We're going to also be
all year round.
All year round. We do it all year round.
Money all year round.
That's correct. But for November 6th, we're definitely raising money for these two nonprofits. 100% of the proceeds are going to those individuals. Two orgs. And then also we're going to be trying to beat the Guinness World Record. Why? I did mention that we're going to be doing it to bridge the gap between Mexico and the U.S. But there's also another big reason. I told you that we're very fond of this holiday, and so is a lot of people in this world. And so being founded in the United States of America. We want to see this holiday be recognized as a national holiday here. And so we want to actually do this because we're going to be doing this certification for the Guinness World Records right in front of the Capitol in the National Mall.
Mhm.
And we want to use this platform to show Congress representation, just a small sample size of the people who really truly value the power and the tradition of this holiday, and show them in masses, right? Show them with the painted faces, show them with all the culture that comes behind it, and actually be able to pass on a petition that will be starting next week um, to make this a national recognized holiday in the U.S., which is really huge, and in order to push all the things that I just spoke about before, that shared humanity, that shared oneness as one people, and learning how to process that grief and really kind of build community in a beautiful and positive way, right? And we try to do that through healing. We try to do that through arts. We do that through music. These are all different features that you'll be getting a touch of as we kind of go into what the festival element is all about, right? So now you know about the record.
And also, the festival is only not just about like the arts and the music, and of course the community, but alongside, I think that a very important part of healing is knowledge. So
Yes.
what we do is that we also bring, and we invite you, if you or you are an org, or you know of an org or any kind of program, that it would be a free program for the community, that everybody could benefit from it. Please bring it to the table, because that's what we like to do. We like to just put out there all the factual information, resources available for the community about immigration, education, housing, food, anything and everything that it could be beneficial to our communities. So just bring it to the table so we can all partake in it and benefit from it.
That is huge. That is huge. Again, we are a community-based organization, and so being that, we are really big on bringing the community together and showing all the beautiful facets of the community and all of the city and the states around and the country have to offer, and all the other countries that have now populated these cities and added to our beautiful culture as America, right? Because we are a country of immigrants, and I know that we typically like to forget that, but we are.
Mhm.
It's very important that we hold space for
We
all of
talked
us.
about your dad, right? Like we never thought like I'm Mexican, obviously. So it's like, oh, you're the immigrant. But then we were having a conversation with his dad, and his dad is also an immigrant, right?
Yeah,
He's been here for like 90% of his life, but he still was not born here.
yeah,
So you're a product of,
I am.
immigration.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. So we talked about the Guinness World Records element, and then after that takes place, we'll be looking to move to a stage where we're looking to hold community members, activists, community orgs, hopefully some Congress people, to speak upon what the Day of the Dead means to us as a community, as a country, and why we feel it's so important, why we desperately need it as a holiday and recognize. You know, it was last year that our former president had actually declared the Day of the Dead holiday. I think it was a
It was
holiday
a
for,
proclamation.
yeah, it was a proclamation for a holiday um, to pay homage to the Americans who have lost their lives to at the hands of illegal immigrants, right? And that was very painful to I would say the immigrant community, not just Spanish speaking or even Native individuals, because you know there are a lot of great things that immigrants in total bring to this country. They've literally brought everything to this. No, I will say everything, because we definitely have a huge Native group that a lot of times get indigenous group that get forgotten about, right? But I will say that the mixing pot of this country as present day, there are a lot of different, teachings and educational elements and beautiful things and pieces of culture that we get a chance to actually kind of bring in. Um, which is really nice. And so we don't want to overshadow that and don't forget the beauty. So anyway, the point is, we'll have that happening, and then that will kick off our demonstration slash parade slash procession down
Mhm.
Pennsylvania Avenue. With all of led by our Katrinas, followed by some floats that are be featured themed by the Day of the Dead.
Traditional dances,
Traditional dances, music,
music.
all of the above. Yeah, which is going to be
Mhm.
amazing, leading all the way down to our, I'll say, festival grounds where we'll be celebrating with a lot more arts and music and workshops, and that will be the location of our cross-cultural community altar, which will be massive, and a number of other wonderful things. And so again, we've been going 5 years strong. We've been blessed enough to share this space with a number of beautiful, talented, beautiful hearted artists, dancers, musicians, singers, teachers,
Photographers,
photographers, spirit,
DJs,
spiritual movers,
yeah,
the whole 9 yards, and we're welcoming them
community
all
leaders.
back. Community leaders, which is very important, and we're welcoming them all back this year. So we do hope that everyone gets a chance to come out and join us on the 6th. This particular stakeholders meeting is more so kind of giving the community the information about what's happening, extending our hand to invite you all to get involved, to participate. Again, we already have a long roster that we are putting together, which is going to be amazing for the community to experience. We will start promoting this full body, hard body, beginning of October. So you'll start seeing a long list of the lineups of people you'll be able to kind of come out and see and experience. Also, at the beginning of October, you'll start seeing ticket sales go live, which is amazing. I do want to point out that all ticket sales for this event are 100% donation.
Yes.
So when you come out and you pay your money, please don't believe that it's going into our pockets, because it's not. It goes 100% to the nonprofits that we mentioned at the beginning of this live feed.
And they will always also be present in there.
Mhm.
So we will have representation from the Young Center, and we will have representation all the way from Morelos, Mexico, to be here at the Benefit Festival.
You got it.
So, if you have more questions, if you want to get involved, also the Young Center has a child advocate program. One thing that we like to remind all of our people is the money is a tool of trade. If you don't have that tool right now, the extra or disposable or whatever, we use you, your body, your thoughts, your ideas, your arms, your legs, your everything. You are an asset.
Yep.
And you are valuable. And, we welcome everybody to come and join us, to participate in whatever capacity you want.
Yep.
Or if you just want to be like, hey, I want to invite people. Can I join you here? And then just be the person that helps you pass around flyers or whatever you want to do. We welcome you.
Correct. We definitely do. And I will also say that for folks who are watching, if you know anyone who may maybe own a business, or a corporation or a foundation, or another organization, all the Asians, right? Please share this with them. We do have a pitch deck that's available on Ask. Ours will be blasting this out all next week anyway, even if they don't ask.
Even if you don't ask, I'm gonna send it to you.
Exactly. And we'll be asking for them to join the DDLM family and helping us support, again, the two nonprofits, as well as the fixed cost for this event. So we'll be showing, doing sponsorships. We'll have different packages and stuff. So you'll get a chance to get involved with a lot of different branding opportunities, a lot of different like consumer to business to consumer experiences at the location throughout all elements of the event that I just named. So there'll be a lot of different opportunities, brand opportunities, and participation opportunities for folks to get involved in. And again, whether it's $10 or above,
remember,
all of it helps.
It doubles up and it goes 20 times. So it's not just the $10. Those $10 transform like literally in $10 here.
Yep.
But they transform in like in $20 in Mexico. So just so you see that, and remember that money is also time of your life that you will never get back. So it's very valuable that time that you invested into getting that dollar, you're giving it out to these two causes that are maximizing the value of that time that you've invested to get that money.
You got it. And also, the beautiful thing about being a sponsor is that it is
tax deductible.
You got it.
What is the percentage of the deduction, Kyle?
It's well, you gotta. I don't know. You
A
have to tell me.
100%. It's 100% tax
I
deductible.
love it.
So please, 100%. Remember this. You can, if it's deductions, if you're single household, the deductions, you don't have to itemize it. If it's $300 or less, you don't have to itemize it. If you're planning on contributing $300 plus, please feel free to come to us and we will give you the letter that you need to be able to deduct that from taxes. So your donations can go from $1 to the infinite and more. Yep. Like Buzz Lightyear, like el infinito y más allá. Yes, like so it doesn't matter, and it's all tax deductible. Please spread the word. This is a huge thing. Also, Rostros Sabios de mi Corazón a tu Corazón is now a 501c3 international. So we are very, very happy about that because we're not only able to receive donations in Mexico, but now we're able to get donations internationally. And we want to thank our partners also for Rostros Sabios, because now Rostros Sabios is getting donations in kind from Home Depot, from Kellogg's. Thank you so much to our partners from Kellogg's donating 3 tons of food on a monthly basis. Yep. And that does not only cover like the centers, the 9 centers that we're working with, the Rostros Sabios covers in Morelos, but they're also doing food campaigns because it's so much that they're getting that they're able to distribute it in like amongst the entire community.
Mm-hmm. So it's beautiful. It just shows, again, we started fundraising for these 2 nonprofits a few years ago, and our partnerships have grown as they've continued, and we've also seen a lot of growth in those organizations. And just understand, whether you donated $1 over the last year, if you bought a ticket, or you stopped by, or if you even liked a comment. For either one of these organizations, that contribution in itself, has propelled these organizations to kind of be doing more and more stuff for the folks that they actually influence. So special thanks to you guys for all your work that you've already done, and special thanks for all the things that you plan on doing as we move forward. And that's a beautiful thing too, is like, as a sponsor or even as an individual, we have opportunities for you to even sponsor artists, that will be participating in this year's.
Why do we want people to help us sponsor artists, Kyle? Like all this, how have we been working out with our artists for the past 5 years?
Well, the thing about this event, we started from nothing, right? We started with the idea exactly start with the idea to try to be helpful, and so what has happened with that is, it started out of our pockets, right? Well, it's still out of our pockets.
I was about to say, but it continues out of our pockets.
But because of it, and because we have been doing this for great causes, for great organizations who are actually putting in the work, we have gained so much support from the community. So many different artists have come out year after year and have dedicated and donated their time, their services, their talents for free. Okay, for free. Just in doing so, have been able to create beautiful shows and experiences for our guests to come out and enjoy. And they donate those things for those nonprofits, right? They don't take anything home from that. And we're so grateful for how far we've been able to come just based upon that kindness, right? But again, we also want to be, as a community organization, we want to make sure we're giving back to our community and that surrounds us day to day. And so those artists, those people who put in those blood, sweat, and tears and selfless support, we want to make sure we have an opportunity to give back to them in ways that we wish we always could. And so that's why we encourage the community, we encourage the businesses and everybody else to get involved, because that allows us to support our local artists. And, we've all been through a lot over this last pandemic. A lot of folks have lost jobs. A lot of people who are still experiencing unemployment. I know a lot of people are no longer experiencing unemployment, as it's run out for many of us due to time limits and so forth, while we wait for the government to figure out what they're going to do. And so these are things and ways that our friends and family members who are artists, and singers, musicians, and all the things that we named before, to be able to pay those bills, right, and support their families and carve out new opportunities for themselves. So we as we help, we want to help the folks who are helping us. And so again, thank you so much for your time this evening. We have a lot more coming up. Again, I will say, if you want to get involved, please, you can DM us on Facebook at Dia de los Muertos DC. You can direct message us on Instagram at DDLMDC. If you want to leave us a comment on YouTube, we're Dia de los Muertos DC on YouTube. We are DDLMDC at gmail.com. Please reach out. We encourage it. We want so many participants this year. We want to basically turn DC into a giant marigold, and make it beautiful. We're calling everyone out from here across the country. We will be trying to join forces with a number of folks in different states on that day, to really kind of further the movement as we petition Congress to make this a national holiday. So you'll see that as well coming out further. If you want to be a part of the parade, if you want to build a float, if you want to learn how to build a float, I'm your guy. You name it. If you want to be an artist, or again, if you just want to participate, that's great. So please stay tuned, listen more. We'll have more stakeholder meetings in the future, and we'll definitely get out a little bit more advanced notice for them, so that you have an opportunity to join. We know a lot of people are busy. It's Thursday night. You got to put the little ones down. We get it, but we appreciate the time. Everyone who has joined throughout this live stream, and folks who weren't able to join, we appreciate the folks who are now watching it as we speak, as the recorded version. And again, we look forward to meeting your acquaintance in the near future, and welcome you to the DDLM family. So thank you. We love you guys. We're so excited to do this event November 6th, down in DC, starting on National Mall, going up Pennsylvania Avenue, and leading down to our festival grounds. And it's going to be amazing. So thank you guys so very much. And we wish you all well. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Peace.